Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're diving into the life of a really influential figure, Sheikh Muuse Jaamac Goodaad.
Yeah, that's right. We've got this detailed memorial piece to work from.
And the goal here really is to get beyond just the dates and facts and, understand the kind of impact he had.
Definitely. We're talking about Sheikh Muuse Jaamac Goodaad, born back in 1932 in Barama.
Right.
He was from the Hebjar Habar Arfan Gadabursi tribe, and he passed away July 10th, 2005, in Djibouti.
And his life spans so much religious scholarship, politics, and maybe most importantly, peace building.
Absolutely. He learned the Quran, in rural communities, even in Ethiopia, but he was also this major political leader, a peace figure.
It's that mix that's so interesting, isn't it? Deep religious roots, but also deeply involved in, well, modern politics and building Somaliland.
Exactly. It's not the combination you might immediately expect.
Okay, so let's trace that journey, starting with his early life and education. How did it all begin?
Well, as we said, Barama, 1932. And his tribal affiliation, the Hebjar Habar Arfan Gadabursi. That's an important context for his background.
Sure.
His early years were really focused on religious learning. Out in the rural areas across into Ethiopia, he completed his initial studies there.
So a very traditional grounding.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That grounding likely gave him, a strong moral compass and understanding of community values, stuff that would be vital later on.
And he didn't stop there. He went for more advanced studies, right?
Yes, from 1949 to 1956, he was in Djibouti, pursuing higher religious education.
Almost 7 years. That must have broadened his horizons quite a bit.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
And then when he returns in 1956, he steps straight into a major traditional role.
He becomes Sultan.
Exactly, formally installed. And that role, Sultan, carries a lot of weight traditionally. Social cohesion, sorting out disputes, that sort of thing.
But he doesn't just stay in that traditional box. Just 2 years later, 1958.
He's involved in the independence struggle.
Yeah.
It shows someone who saw the way things were changing, felt he had to engage with the modern political scene, even while holding on to his traditional position.
That's quite the balancing act already. And he gets involved politically with the USP?
The United Somali Party, yes. He wasn't just a member. He became secretary in Barama in 59.
Okay.
Then secretary for guidance in Hargeisa in 1960. He was clearly rising fast. People trusted him.
And then general secretary of the whole party.
Later in 1960, yeah. Head of the USP. That's a big deal, especially at that time. He held that position until the USP merged with the SNL, the Somali National League.
Right, the merger. Did his influence wane then?
Doesn't seem like it. Even after the merger, he became secretary for guidance in the unified party. So he clearly knew how to navigate these political shifts.
Then comes another change. 1967, he moves into private business.
Yeah, a bit of a turn. We don't know exactly why from this piece, but it's interesting, maybe applying his skills differently.
Could be. But his public service wasn't done.
Not by a long shot. In 1968, he's back in government service, manager for the ONAT agency in Gabely.
ONAT. What was that?
A government agency involved in things like trade, key economic sectors. He managed the Gabely branch until 71.
Okay.
Then from 72 to 73, he coordinated ONAT's agricultural programs for the whole northern regions. So very practical, hands-on work related to development.
And he kept climbing within ONAT, too.
He did. Deputy director at the main headquarters in 76. And then a really significant role from 1978, head of transport and logistics for ONAT, based in Mogadishu.
Wow, Mogadishu. And all this time, he's still Sultan.
Apparently so, juggling these major government roles with his traditional duties as Sultan right up until 1991.
That's just incredible capacity.
It really is. But, when you look at his whole life, maybe the most defining part is his role in peace and building the state, especially during some really tough times.
Beyond the official jobs, you mean?
Yeah, the memorial mentions lots of grassroots peace initiatives he started or led, working with other elders. It shows how important those traditional ways of resolving conflicts still were.
In the Gul Allah Peace Conference in Barama, February-March 91, he was central to that.
Absolutely pivotal. He helped organize it, was deeply involved. That conference was kind of a foundation stone for peace in that region.
It set the stage for what came next.
It seems so, because right after that, April-May 91, he plays this crucial role in getting the Guti, Somaliland's traditional council of elders, together for the big conference in Burko.
The founding conference.
The one that led to Somaliland restoring its independence, bringing those elders together, forging consensus.
Yeah.
His skills were essential there. The Gurti holds huge respect, you see.
So he helps establish independence, but the work wasn't over. The memorial talks about a whole series of peace efforts in 92, 93.
Yes, this period is just packed with his peacemaking work, really shows his dedication.
Yeah.
February 92, he leads a delegation from Borama to Burko to sort out the first clashes there.
And he succeeded.
Seems so. Reconciling local clans, that's vital early on, stopping things from escalating.
Then April 92, another conference in Borama.
Yeah, chairing a meeting of all Dal communities. They discuss Somaliland's position, but also, crucially, humanitarian relief for people suffering from the civil war in Berbera.
So looking both inward and outward.
Exactly. Then, September 92, he leads another peace mission, this time from Borama to Hargeisa. The goal was explicitly restore peace and search for reconciliation. He had a wider vision for Somaliland.
And the Tawfiq talks later that year.
Hugely important, October, November 92. He was a leading figure in Adal's Gurti delegation there. They managed to get key security agreements hammered out.
Which paved the way for another big conference.
Right, the second major conference in Borama. He was really building things step by step, consistent effort.
And he led peace efforts in Hargeisa directly, too.
Yes, from late 92 into early 93, tackling conflict in the main city. Then, as chair of Adal's Gurti, he was key in organizing that second big Somaliland Elders Congress in Borama, January to May 93.
That's the one that adopted the charters.
Adopted key charters, basically the legal foundations, and elected Mohammed H. Ibrahim Egal's government. His role in setting up those fundamental structures was massive.
So after all that intense state building, did he step back?
Not really. He was appointed to the House of Elders, the Gurti, in 1993. His experience was clearly still needed.
And he stayed active within the Gurti.
Very active. Worked on resolving lingering civil war disputes between 94 and 96. He also organized peace talks among Adal clans in Garissa in 95.
Still working at the local level, too.
And regional. He joined a Gurti delegation to calm clashes in Zarshin that same year, 95.
He seems tireless.
He does. And involved in the next big national step, too, the Elders Congress in Hargeisa in 96-97.
What happened there?
That's where they approved the new constitution and the national flag, really cementing Somaliland's identity. And Egal's government was reappointed. He was part of organizing that.
Wow. Any other major peace missions mentioned?
One really stands out. Towards the end of 97 and into 98, he led a critical Gurti peace mission to Taghir region, especially Burko.
Which had seen conflict.
Significant conflict, yes. And his mission was instrumental in restoring calm there. The memorial calls this a lasting legacy, and you can see why. A real, tangible impact on stability.
So, summing it all up, he remained this pillar in the House of Elders right until he passed away in 2005.
Yeah, in Djibouti. The memorial really stresses his courageous decisions, his commitment to peace, to building the Somaliland state.
And a unique blend.
Exactly, that blend of scholarly, religious, political, and cultural wisdom. He was clearly central to navigating a really complex, difficult period.
Decades of work, rebuilding governance, society.
Moving from religious leader to politician to ultimately this key figure in peace and reconciliation. It's quite a story of leadership.
And his legacy continues through his family, too.
Yes, 3 wives, 12 children, many grandchildren mentioned. His influence will likely echo for a long time.
This deep dive, it really shows Sheikh Muuse Jaamac Goodaad as, well, a remarkable person. His dedication was immense.
Yeah, to his community, to Somaliland.
Yeah.
He really did manage to blend these different roles, scholar, politician, peace builder.
And use that traditional authority effectively in a modern context.
That's a key point, I think. His deep roots seem to actually help him navigate the complexities of state building. It wasn't an either thing.
It makes you think, doesn't it, about how people with different skills, different backgrounds can really make a difference, especially when things are, in flux or conflict.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What can you learn from someone who is so committed to both his principles and the practical steps needed to build peace?
A commitment to principle and pragmatism, that's a powerful combination.
It is. Definitely something worth mulling over.